Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Continuing on NFL Week 5. Got an AFC South division battle here. Titans on the road in Indy to play the Colts. This line's Colts plus 2.5, but it was Colts minus 1.5. We'll get to that in a second. Total sitting at an even 43. Let's do it.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the sauce.
So like I said, this line opened up with the Colts laying a 1.5 at home here, and the early sharps came in and hammered Tennessee as dogs. Line moved a full 4 points since then. We're now looking at Colts plus 2.5. The action seems to be coming in pretty split even now. I could see this line staying at 2.5, maybe dropping back down to 2 or 1.5. So the Titans bounced back in a huge way last week after getting their asses beat by Cleveland, where the offense had just 94 total yards. Titans had just 94 total yards in the Browns game. They were sitting 1-2, about to play a Bengals team that needed a win badly. Things were not looking great for the Titans. But last week, the Tennessee offense completely showed up. 400 total yards, 27 points. Tannehill was good. 18 of 25, 240 yards, 72% completions, 9.6 yards per attempt, so he was getting the ball down the field. Derrick Henry finally got it going. He was off to a rough start this year. 22 carries, 122 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. So everything looks sweet for the Titans heading into this game at Indianapolis, right? Well, the at part is what worries me, because I know it's early in the season, but these Titans home away splits are starting to look nuts. At home this season, the Titans are averaging 27 points a game, 370 yards per game, converting third downs at a high rate, 5.9 yards per play, 62% red zone percentage, pretty much top 10, if not top 5 in every category. But on the road, this looks like a completely different offense. Just 9 points a game, 189 yards per game, 3.6 yards per play, a 0% red zone rate. Now, I know the Saints and Browns are tough defenses to face, but those numbers would all be dead last in the league by a big margin. And by the way, this isn't something that's brand new. In his last 8 road starts dating back to last season, Ryan Tannehill's averaging just 172 pass yards a game and a 79 passer rating, and he had a great game on the road in Lambeau Field in there. If you take out that one, his numbers drop even lower to 149 yards a game, 4 touchdowns, 6 picks. Now, the Colts' pass defense isn't really anything special. They're 23rd in yards per attempt, allowed 14th in pass defense DVOA, but I don't trust Tannehill on the road, especially when he's going to be seeing pressure. The Colts are 9th in the NFL in adjusted sack rate. As we know, Ryan Tannehill is really nice against the blitz, but the thing is, the Colts don't really blitz much. Indianapolis has blitzed on just 20.1% of their defensive snaps this year. That's 26th in the NFL. So the Colts have been getting sacks without sending extra pass rushers. That's the exact recipe for beating Ryan Tannehill. Keep in mind, Titans' offensive line has been bad in pass protection, 29th in adjusted sack rate allowed. And then you add on the fact that Tannehill struggled against this Colts defense last year. In his 2 starts against Indy last season, Tannehill averaged just 134 pass yards per game, 6 yards per pass attempt. I think it's safe to say this is not a great spot for Ryan Tannehill. So can we trust Derrick Henry to carry this Titans offense in this game? Historically, the answer would be yes. Titans are 5-1 in their last 6 against the Colts, and Derrick Henry averages 117 yards per game in those. But he hasn't quite been the same this year. He's averaging just 3.9 yards per carry on the season, and he's seeing 8+ defenders in the box on 46.58% of his carries. That's the second highest in the NFL. And the Colts defense has been pretty solid against the run. I mean, it's not the elite run defense that it was back in, I think it was 2021, but they're 16th in adjusted line yards, 5th in yards per carry allowed to running back. So they've been okay against the run. Now, the Rams were able to run the ball on Indy last week, combining for 164 yards rushing on 4.55 yards per carry. But if you look at the running backs against the Colts in the previous 3 games, 3 yards per carry, 2.21 yards per carry, 3.69 yards per carry. I think the Rams may have caught the Colts defense off guard a little bit with the run-heavy attack with Kyren Williams. Colts defense is not going to be caught off guard by Derrick Henry. They know they're giving him the ball. Now, on the other side of the ball, Colts offense has some life, man. I mean, Indy had the worst offense in the NFL last year. Dead last in DVOA, dead last in passing DVOA, 31st in rushing, 29th on third downs, and 29th in the red zone. This year, those numbers are 18th, 19th, 16th, 25th, and 3rd. So this new era of Colts football with Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson is off to an excellent start. The main matchup on this side of the ball is going to be the Colts offensive line against the Titans defensive front. Titans defensive line is the best part of their team, no question. Tennessee's 10th in adjusted sack rate, 8th in pressure rate, and 7th in adjusted line yards. I really can't see Indianapolis getting much going in the run game in this one. Titans might have the best run defense in the NFL. They're 4th in rushing yards allowed per game, 1st in yards per carry allowed. Titans have been a top 3 run defense for 3 straight seasons now. Having Jonathan Taylor back in the mix definitely helps, but this guy hasn't played football in almost a year, and when he did play last year, he wasn't even that efficient. And on top of that, the 2 matchups against Tennessee last year, Jonathan Taylor combined for 30 carries, just 100 yards, 0 touchdowns. Zach Moss is playing well, but I don't expect either of them to really produce on this Tennessee defensive front. So that means the Colts' offensive production for this game falls on the shoulders of Anthony Richardson, and Anthony Richardson so far has been pretty much what we expected him to be. Questionable accuracy, but big arm and great athleticism. He's completing just 56.9% of his passes. That needs to be a little better, but overall, he's been good. 6.7 yards per attempt, 479 yards passing. Obviously, they'd like to see that a little bit higher, but add on the fact that he's got 131 yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns already as well. And the thing with this Titans defense, they have not seen a dual threat quarterback in forever. The last time the Titans saw a dual threat quarterback, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles back in week 13 of last season. So it's been a long time. Jalen Hurts didn't do much on the ground in that game, but Eagles did win 35-10, so they won comfortably. The opportunities downfield are going to be there for Richardson in this game, and he could potentially take a huge step forward in terms of developing as a passer. Titans secondary is not strong. Titans pass defense is 25th in DVOA, 26th in yards per attempt, and 27th in opponent's passer rating. And they're specifically weak against the deep ball, which was Anthony Richardson's specialty last year. He may not be the most accurate passer as far as putting the ball in windows, but he's an extremely talented deep ball thrower. He was 10th and 13th in the FBS in yards per attempt and passer rating on passes that travel 20 plus yards in the air. So he was one of the best deep ball throwers in the country last year at Florida, and that's the weakness of the Titans defense. Possible look for a touchdown scorer might be a Colts deep ball receiver, maybe Alec Pierce at plus 400, just saying. Now, when it comes to trends, everybody knows that Mike Vrabel as an underdog covers a lot, but they're favorites now. That doesn't apply anymore. They're no longer underdogs. As favorites, Vrabel's just 19-25-1 against the spread, not nearly as impressive. With Tannehill's horrible road splits and the heavy public on Tennessee, I'm taking the Colts here. Give me Indy plus 2.5. Let's go. If you want my top bets, parlays of the day, if you want to join our Discord, or if you want to get in on the NFL against the spread giveaway contest, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. NFL Week 5 Football Sunday is here. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.